it. Wait for it.
Now.
There we go.
We're live.
Welcome to Backcountry BSing, the 40th episode of this. That's pretty insane. There's been 40 of these. Like we kind of did for Mother's Day, we brought our mom on. We thought it would be equally entertaining to bring on our dad.
Yes.
Give you the full, you get to see both parents. And then we also, it's kind of hard to see. There's a cake here. Father's Day cake. It says SBO on it.
Well, the cake is for another reason too.
Yeah, are we allowed to?
Yeah, I don't care.
So it's also
it's Andy's birthday.
it's Andy's birthday today.
Yep.
So
So I had this cake.
enjoy some sugar, buddy.
I'm not.
You can have a little bite. You can take
What
some
kind
in
of
your
cake
part.
is this?
It's German chocolate cake.
And it says SBO on the top.
Yes. It was
Did they
made-
ask you what that meant when you?
Yes. This baker, she lives a couple blocks from me, and she made this. She made one for me for my birthday. And,
Did it say Fred on the top?
yes.
Okay.
And I think it had I think it had weapons on it too.
Oh, we should put weapons on this one.
I know.
Yeah.
Nice Glock on there.
Yeah, nice Glock.
So I guess before we should start, as a little shout out to Happy Father's Day
Yes.
to everybody,
Yes,
all the
happy Father's
fathers
Day.
out there. Yeah. So I thought it'd be fun to talk a little bit about your past in the outdoors, because you're an Eagle Scout.
I'm an Eagle Scout. Yes, that was a lot of fun. That's my dad and I did that together.
How come you didn't force us to do
Yeah.
that?
Well, if you remember, we looked for a troop for you guys.
Really?
Yes, especially with Andy. And it's different now because the kids have so many other activities. And so I really did not find a troop. The only way we were going to do a troop, and maybe I should have done that, is I should have started one at our church.
That would have been the one.
But, you guys weren't into it. You weren't into it.
How
that
old?
much.
How old was he when you started trying to do this?
I remember going to like Cub
11.
Scouts.
Really?
Or something.
Oh, yeah.
No,
So
but
by the time I was around, you're like,
I gave up.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
No, Andy didn't like it.
I
And
didn't like
it's so different than when I was growing up, It was so different. It was hard to find an active troop. And I realized, there's so many other things. And then you remember we got pretty heavily involved with Indian guides.
oh, well, we're going to get to Indian guides. We're not there yet.
Did they change their name yet?
Dude, Indian
Oh, yes.
guides.
Now it's Y guides.
Good.
What is it?
Y guides.
Why?
If they're still around. I don't know if they're around.
So if no one's ever heard of Indian guides,
There's
it's like what fathers do with their sons when they don't want to do Boy Scouts, at least growing up.
Well, it's different.
Because we would just go hang out at somebody's house and like,
it's got
No.
girls too.
Well,
that was Indian princesses.
The difference
But
with,
yes.
with the Scouts, you had a central leader with kids. And back then, the Scoutmaster never went camping alone with the kids. The dads were
Are
very
you talking about
involved.
Indian or Boy Scouts?
Boy Scouts.
So the
Because-
dads always went?
Yeah, my dad always went. We always had lots of dads. And you can imagine my dad.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
so our grandfather is still alive. He's 99 years old. Very Eastern European. I can only imagine what camping with him was like.
we would share a tent, and he would snore all night, and I would be up, and then he'd complain how he got no sleep. And I said, yes, you
How
did.
old were you?
I was like 12, 13, 14.
So how long were you in Scouts for?
I was in Scouts from till I was about 19, 11. I was in Scouts for 8 years.
What
And
was your Eagle Scout project?
Yeah, have you told us this?
my Eagle Scout project is I worked at the blind school in Worthington, and I ran a summer program with the kids there, and the kids were like all my age, and I ran a bowling alley with them.
That was your project?
That was my project. I ran a bowling alley,
For
and I also
a
helped.
bowling alley for blind kids?
It was incredible.
How do they bowl?
Well, I'm going to tell you. And also we had a little basketball thing where we would,
How does that work?
well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, now the basketball, I would sit under the tent and ring a bell. Okay, so they could like zone in on
Okay.
And then
That's cool.
somebody else would give them the basketball and they shoot towards the bell, which were very good. Now, the bowling was we had 5 lanes, and we had somebody that would set up the pins. We didn't have automatic pins set up. So at one end,
So hopefully it wasn't a blind person.
no, it was not a blind person. And then they had a railing, and then they would parallel themselves with the railing and throw the ball down.
Okay, that sounds a lot easier than playing basketball.
Yes. And then they would hear the ball going.
Okay.
And some of these kids, I did it with a friend of mine, Tom Long, who you've met, but you don't remember. And we would share this thing, and he'd be at the other end. And then, after we did this all summer, and pretty soon there's some kids that wouldn't get a pin. So Tom would be at the other end.
Go down there and
Well, Tom at the other end. So you hear this ball. You hear this ball going, and then crash. You got a strike.
Oh, nice.
You got a strike. And then a few times, there's some kids that were kind of smart alecky, and so we this is awful.
Well, hold on. It's gonna be on the internet forever.
I know this is awful, but they
What
all
year was
took
this?
it. I was
It's like the 60s, right?
Yeah. I was 1968, 67, 68. So we would have the kid would throw the ball down. He's all cocky and everything, and go, and you hear the ball going, and then Tom would catch the ball, and you know what he did? He would roll it back.
Why? What's the
These
point?
kids, I'll just have fun with them, and so we hear
kind of funny.
We hear the ball coming.
It comes back.
It comes back, and I would catch it. But yeah, that was my project.
Why did you decide to do that as your Eagle Scout project?
I thought it was supposed to be more about like the outdoors.
No.
Oh, is it
This
just
was
community?
a service project.
Oh.
A service project.
Okay.
You're supposed to help, and they needed help because there was a lot of volunteer stuff there. But it was a very, very good project. One of the fellows became a pretty good friend of mine. I would take him to the Catholic church up by the house there. I still remember his name. I thought I used to remember his name, but it was very good. My scoutmaster was excellent. We camped every month. And
Where?
Just at the Boy Scout camps. The place we really like to go, which you guys have been to, is Camp Otiaqua.
Yeah.
The Big Brother camp
Yeah.
down in Hocking Hills.
Uh-huh.
And they would let us camp there for free, and we would have to do a service project. So I remember one year we cleared a parking lot for cars. And then we worked on different merit badges. Like we worked on the hiking merit badge, which was 5 10-mile hikes and 1 20-mile hike.
Okay.
Or no, it was 5. Yeah, I think
That's
what
pretty
it was.
solid.
Well, we didn't, we're a bunch of kids, and they just set us off by
you
ourselves.
Did you have to do the 20 in one day?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And
That's legit.
Yeah, that's a tough hike.
Kids are soft nowadays.
Yeah, kids are soft.
and we had the old hard shoes, and we would pack our lunches in the morning.
Did you have these weren't overnights though? This is just a hiking merit
This is
badge?
just a hiking merit badge. We would go to Ash Cave, Old Man's Cave.
Okay, so
from
all
Camp,
the spots.
remember Camp Otiaqua was kind of in the middle of all of them. And and then we would spend the whole week doing service projects there. And we did that for about 3-4 years. You remember that camp?
Yeah.
We would go there. We did an Indian guide.
One of the few memories I have from Indian guides was the kid breaking his leg.
Yes, that was at Old Man's Cave.
And then all the dads.
Yes, that was Mr. Darnell was there, thank God. And
thank God a dad who actually had experience with this sort of stuff.
No. He was strong.
Oh yeah.
Because this kid was dorking around, and he fell, broke his leg, and then he was a Boy Scout too, and he was kind of helping us splint his leg and everything. Then we had to carry him out.
I remember this.
But Mr. Miller and I are just looking at a clearing in the woods, saying, "Well, they could bring a helicopter in here." But then we made
How far did you have to carry him?
We carried him quite a way.
It's like 3 or 4
We had to
miles.
make like a
I remember.
litter, and Mr. Darnell, he just did the brunt of it. And then that was Steve Schaefer and I set up that one. That was all the
Didn't
tribes.
we didn't sleep outside.
No, that was a day.
Okay, I'll get to that.
Okay. All right.
No. So Mr. Miller and I, that's Jeff Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I would take the mobile bedroom.
The mobile bedroom?
Yes. Do you remember the big station wagon we had?
The van? No.
Before that.
Yes.
The Gray Ghost.
Yes.
The Gray Ghost. And
Wasn't it blue?
it was gray, but maybe it's blue after all those years, But and then just I couldn't sleep. I mean, you got no sleep in these places. With the other dads. But yeah, I drive that. And then Mr. Darnell also, he was a gym teacher in Dublin, and he also ran the backpacking club for Dublin schools.
I remember that.
And that was your first backpacking.
I remember
trip.
that.
Yeah.
And he had all the equipment.
I remember we used a bunch of other people's stuff.
We used other people's stuff, and we hiked, and it was Zaleski.
I don't remember it
Well,
being Zaleski.
Yeah.
It was there. All I remember, there was a glass factory, remnants of an old glass making factory there. And it was a popular backpacking place. Do you remember
There's not a glass factory. It's Zaleski.
the remnants of it? Is there
Yeah,
remnants of
There's a
anything?
furnace.
That's it.
But they didn't
wasn't
use that to
glass.
make glass.
Yes,
They're
'cause
making
we-
cannonballs.
I don't know.
We
if
would-
I don't know if that's
we
true,
would pick up
actually.
chunks of glass there. Yeah, it's the furnace. Is that Zaleski?
It's called a Hope
Yes.
Iron Furnace.
Wow. I think
They're making cannonballs during the Civil War.
They made a bunch of stuff though.
anyway, I think that's
Look.
it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. And then we hiked in. Of course, you don't remember this part, is I drove the Blue Ghost because there was a road.
Yeah, all the campsites have.
Maybe it was Zaleski.
They have.
They have road access.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I drove the road, and you guys hiked in, and they had water there.
No, that is Zaleski.
They had water in cisterns there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they would truck the water in.
Yeah.
And that was the night, the famous Skype hunt we did with Andy.
Snipe, not Skype.
Snipe. Yeah, Skypes. Do you remember the snipe hunt?
No.
Okay.
This is just a bunch of dads screwing with their kids.
You guys
Yes,
are probably bored.
yes. Well, first off, okay, so we wanted to start a fire, and it rained, and then they were trying to do it the way you guys kindling everything. Of course, I brought gasoline.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And then we decided to go on a snipe hunt, and you don't remember this at all.
No, I remember thinking that a snipe was
And then-
real,
and the
but
way-
I was just being lied to.
No, you were being lied to. So what we do was, it's pitch black, and we took you kids in the woods, and then we would have rocks. Okay?
And you'd throw them.
We'd throw them. And you hear this thing, you hear it. Oh, there goes one.
Isn't
And
it
we-
supposed to be a bird?
Yes.
It's a real thing people lie about.
It's a sandpiper.
But it's like a real, like
Yes.
you guys didn't come up with
Yes.
this term.
Yes. So then we're running, and then of course Andy's in the lead, and then we got a flashlight, and we're looking as if there's something there, and then Andy's looking, and I said, "Andy, there it is," and he said, "It's beautiful. It's got blue eyes."
I don't remember this.
How did this come about? You guys were just, we're not going to make a fire, so we're just going to say
a
there's
snipe
some
hunt.
sort of imaginary creature out
I
there.
think. See, they used to do that to me in Scouts, so I would bring back the Scout stuff, that was done to me.
Okay.
But it was so much fun. And then we went on that trip. We actually went arrowhead. We looked for
I
arrowheads
vaguely remember that.
because all the fields in southern Ohio, which is there's no natural flint, so the flint,
I didn't know
any
that.
flint you found was from the Indians. So we would go through and we would find fragments of flint. Any flint you find in that area was brought there by the Indians.
Flint's not native to this
not
area?
native.
What about are you sure about that?
I feel like we need Sam here to fact check us.
Better fact check.
Yeah.
that was my Mr. Darnell told us that. Now, you know where they did get the flint from?
Where?
Flint Ridge.
That's
Which is-
native in Ohio.
Yeah, which is near Newark.
So-
We went there.
So there is Flint in Ohio.
Yes, it's in Newark, and we went there. I think it's when we first got the dogs, and we hiked around, and they have it's really cool. They have mounds where the Indians used to sit and carve up their arrowheads there. And the rules there were the Indians were not allowed to kill each other there. It was like, it's an area of peace.
You're spouting a lot of anthropology.
I don't know if
right now.
area-
Native American
this could
history
be-
is backed up by this. This is terrible.
No. Fact check it.
Okay, hold on.
There's a lot of things to fact check
Hold on.
so far.
Flint Ridge.
No, I've been fact checking.
Okay.
First of all, there's tons of Flint in Ohio, so
Well,
so
well, look up Flint Ridge. They weren't allowed to kill each other. there.
can you just
Wait, so
hold
the
on
Indians
a
would go
second.
there. It
And
was
they would
like
get
a
their-
peace zone.
It's a peace zone.
And they'd mine
That's
the
a
flint.
DMZ for the Indians.
No, it's not. This is the dumbest thing.
I remember searching for arrowheads.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a common thing we would do.
Yeah, we would do that. So that was that Indian guide trip. And then
Why did we stop doing Indian guides?
Because-
it wasn't culturally appropriate anymore.
No.
No, this was way before
No,
cultural
no,
appropriation.
You could only do it till fourth grade.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth
Oh, I
grade.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and you guys, I kept you until fourth grade because we had such a great troop. Now, do you remember the name of our tribe?
Hold on. I remember our names.
Yes, we were what family?
We're the Arrow family.
The Arrow family.
I forget who was what though. Somebody was Crooked Arrow. Somebody was Broken Arrow.
Guess who was Broken Arrow?
You?
No, Mr. Broken Leg.
Oh, he was Broken Arrow.
He was Broken Arrow.
What were you?
I was Straight Arrow, and you were Curved
I was
Arrow.
Crooked Arrow.
Crooked Arrow.
I love it. It's just so racist when you think about it.
Oh my god, this is so bad.
So if people don't know, they're joining, you don't know what Indie Guides is. It's like what suburban families do when they don't do Boy Scouts. And a bunch of suburban dads just get their kids together and they just do like outdoorsy things. We did like skills-based
Yes.
stuff though.
Yes. And do you remember what
What was our tribe called?
we were? The mighty Hayakawa tribe.
The Hayakawa.
Which isn't real.
Which we found out later, there's no such tribe.
That's good. That's
The
good.
Hayakawa
That's good.
tribe.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
There's no Hayakawa tribe. But we came up, we had to do tribal history. And we learned about the Wyandots, which are all over the Scioto River. You remember those stories? About,
The Wyandots. Yeah. So this is a good little point of Central Ohio lore, actually.
yes.
So I think I know some of this. So the native, once the white people came in and just pushed all the Native Americans out, they were the Wyandotte tribe, correct?
No, the Wyandotte tribes, they weren't pushed out.
Well, what's with the curse? That's what you're talking about.
No. Well, yes, there is a curse. Okay. Now, the Wyandottes lived all over the Scioto River.
You know a
And-
lot about
and-
this,
hold
and I
on.
feel like
And-
this isn't true.
No, this is true.
Hold on.
And they made their living.
First of all, there's no such. Hold on.
Wait, we're behind on the fact checking.
This is.
Wait, are we still on the Indian DMZ?
I cannot find anything that talks about a Native American DMZ.
No, that was just about the
That was
Flint
bullshit,
Ridge.
is what
No,
he's saying.
I know. That's what I'm
Flint
saying.
Ridge.
There's nothing that says that was like a.
That was what they said on the placards at Flint Ridge.
Okay, so all right, we're Wyandotte Indians,
Okay, now
Scioto
the
River.
Okay, they made their living towards the when the settlers came in doing maple syrup.
What?
God.
Yes, they maple syrup.
This sounds like straight
This is such bullshit.
Andy,
This
get
is
on
not
that.
true at all. Stop. Just
No,
stop.
no.
Just
Wait, no.
stop.
No,
Look up-
continue. Wait,
I'll
so
tell you,
the
look
Wyandotte
up-
Indians.
Look up the last.
Andy
of
and
the,
I are both fact checking. Let's have that.
This is
the
not
last,
right.
The last of the Wyandottes was a guy named Bill Moose.
I've heard that.
Yeah, see, figments of this are coming back.
This is not.
Bill Moose. Now, you
Okay.
wanted to ask about the curse of the Wyandottes.
No, just.
Indians.
Yeah, wait. Okay, Wyandotte women made large quantities. This is Columbus Dispatch.
Yes.
All right, so there it is. Wyandotte women made large quantities of maple syrup and
There-
used some of it as a trade item with the
Right.
whites.
There you go.
Okay, he's got scoreboard. He's got one.
Now, the curse goes to Leather Lips.
Who's Leather Lips?
Okay, Leather Lips, there's a whole story. He was murdered by Tecumseh
Okay,
because he was being too nice to the white settlers.
this is in Columbus.
Yes.
Okay,
And he,
This is so dumb too, because when you look, this is so bad. when you look up the curse of leather lips, they just talk about how it's cursed the memorial
That's
tournament.
right.
Yes, that's the whole
that's
thing.
the whole
That's
thing.
so dumb.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. This is a good
Because-
story.
because the cemetery was moved, I think, by Jack. I'm not sure. There was something, and they feel that's why it rains every Memorial
So
Day.
the curse. So if you're not
The
familiar
curse
with
is the rain,
Ohio,
is the rain,
there is a very popular PGA Tour golf tournament
which is coming
every
in
year,
July.
which is coming in July this year because of COVID. It's called the Memorial Tournament. It's usually around Memorial Day the weekend. Anyway, that tournament is notorious for getting tons of rain.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
it also happens to be in the spring.
it happens to be in the rainiest time of the year.
There was talk of moving it to August when we need the rain.
See, that's
Yeah.
using the curse for it.
Yes,
So the
yes,
whole, and this
yes.
is like a thing in Columbus,
Yes,
is that
this
the
is a
tournament's
thing.
cursed. And it
Yes.
does rain every year.
It rains, as you know,
I know.
rains every year. And I think it rained a lot this year during that week, so we can't blame it on the tournament, I believe.
Maybe they just cursed that weekend
Maybe it
in
is.
general.
Maybe it is. But that leather lips, that's a whole neat story, about
When was this? What's the time frame?
1880s.
Yeah, 1800s.
Okay.
And
I'm surprised the maple syrup thing is true. That sounded
why
like
would you be-
bullshit.
No, because there were maple trees all along the side of the river, and that's how Bill Moose made his living too. It was the last of the Wyandottes, full-blooded Wyandottes. But
Well, they have I guess they changed the name. We used to have Wyandotte Lake, which was a like a pool,
No.
like a amusement theme park. So that was named after the Wyandotte Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that the thing out near Delaware?
No.
Right by the zoo.
they
It's
renamed
Zumbizi
it.
Bay now.
Yeah.
That's a big.
You don't
pool.
remember Wyandotte Lake?
Yeah, but I thought that
No,
was
no,
out
no.
by
No.
Delaware.
It was the water park.
It's a
there.
water park next to the
yeah,
zoo.
but it's not a lake.
I can't
It's
keep
not
up.
a lake.
It's
It's,
a
just
pool.
called Wyandotte Lake.
Okay, okay,
But now it's Zumbizi Bay because
Yes.
I don't know.
yes.
Devin just said this is the most random history lesson, but I'm somehow enjoying this. Devin, you need to fact check everything.
Yeah. Well, I was
is-
pretty impressed that the maple syrup
Now,
thing was true.
is Restless out there?
No.
I don't know. We
He-
didn't-
He would agree with me.
Yeah, I'm sure he
No,
would.
he wouldn't.
I don't know how we got on the Indian thing.
Well, no, because of Indian guides, and really, what you're doing, the Indians are the master outdoor people,
That is true.
and probably a lot of the trails you go on were Indian trails at one time.
I think about that sometimes.
Not
Zaleski.
Zaleski's an old town.
But like, there's no like mounds and stuff in that area. Are there?
Yeah, there's.
Not near.
Where's Serpent Mound?
That's
that
up by.
Chil-
That's
Chil-
Chillicothe, right?
There's a couple at High Banks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and you don't know what we're talking about, like a hallmark thing of Native Americans, I'll call them that,
Yes. Let's move.
is they what's the deal with it? They bury their dead in there.
Yes.
It was certain burial
Yes,
rituals.
It's all about the afterlife.
So they build these big, and they're like tombs, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
But they on the outside they look like huge mounds
Mm-hmm.
because they go under.
I don't.
And they dig 'em out?
I don't know. I can't remember the purpose of the mounds.
I will get it.
So
We'll get it.
anyway, there are these like around Ohio and probably other states. There's these big mounds, and that's a sign of Native American lore and
And
culture.
It's everywhere because you think about it. The Indians were here for what 20,000 years before
That's a great
the
question.
Europeans came.
Probably more than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I mean,
It only
that's
took
everywhere.
us about 50 years to
Yes.
push them out.
Mounds, earthen mounds for religious, ceremonial, burial, and elite residential purposes.
Oh, they live in them.
Yeah. This is interesting. Various cultures collectively termed mound builders. This is I remember.
I've
this.
heard of mound builders.
We're
Yeah, the mound builders.
Well, inhabitants of North America who, during a 5,000 year period, constructed these. So,
Now Bradley, the
Yes.
farmer across the
Uh-huh.
street, he has taken up this hobby, and there's one area next to him. He's found all kinds of stuff,
Like what?
like
Dead bodies?
no, Indian tools,
Like what?
like an awl. He had like
Oh.
an awl made out, and so now it's all planted. But he's going to go back. I'll show you when you're out. but he's going to go back in the fall and kind of excavate it a little bit more. But he's found all kinds of cool stuff there.
That's pretty cool.
You know, this is interesting. There's a solid movement right now in archaeology that when you find this stuff, you just leave it.
Yes.
That's a big thing now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It belongs in a museum.
Well, that happened by my parents down in Florida. They were excavating an area for a neighborhood, and they found some relics there. And the historians went in there, logged everything,
And then left it.
Then left it. And
Yeah.
guess what? No homes there.
Oh.
It's on Englewood Beach, along the beach there. But yeah, it's learning to be respectful as we're finding out now of everyone and their history.
Yep.
So why did we get into RVing? Let's go there.
Well,
First of all, is an RV a worthwhile investment?
absolutely not.
Okay, let's just get that out of the way.
I mean, I don't think people think they are, but so okay.
Sorry,
so we transitioned.
not monetary
We
investment.
transitioned from a camping family. We never really were a car camping family.
No.
We did
some.
We did some. Before you guys were around, we went to Put-in Bay and East Harbor. But the RVing, with the dogs and everything, I think that was the
impetus.
But we
Got to see a lot of cool places.
the RVs are wonderful as long as you use them.
I think the take home message is just rent the RV when you want to go.
the way to do it is to rent it. And do you remember? Okay, the first one we had was a trailer,
I remember that.
and we took it to Cedar Point,
I remember that.
and then
There was a hatch going on.
oh God, yes,
Yeah, like a mayfly.
Mayflies.
and midges, and then that lasted a year because we didn't have a good pull vehicle, and I was getting
What were you pulling it with?
that
van.
the blue van
Oh yeah.
that was burning oil. Every time I got gas, I had to put oil in. and so I was getting like 5 miles a gallon, maybe.
When you were trailering that
Yes,
thing,
and
Oh,
you could
wow.
watch the gas needle go down, and then pulling in and trying to get a gas for this thing. You had like 35 feet behind you,
Yeah.
And you had to get gas every 2 hours. Then realized that wouldn't work. So then
We got
we
the
just-
first rendition.
we got the
of
first
RV.
rendition. Now the first rendition was a gas powered 32-foot one.
I remember this one.
And that's what we took to Yellowstone.
Uh-huh.
And I never
That's the one Andy and I got kicked out of. We talked about that on the last one.
I can get to that.
No, we've already covered it. We're good.
I just remember looking at you guys and I said, I can't remember. I said, don't say anything, just come on in. You guys were in your underwear. And I was driving the rental car, which the brakes were going out on it. And we made it to Cody. But the thing with the gas one, I think it was fuel injection, going up altitude. I remember coming down, we took it to Breckenridge,
Mm-hmm.
and coming down the mountain past Vail Pass, all of a sudden the engine cut out.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And I think, Andy, you were in the front seat
Yeah,
with
I
me.
remember that. Just being like, oh, what do we do?
And when the gas engine cuts out, you lose your diesel braking. And we're going down the mountain, and I'm eyeing at the
the things.
things,
Yeah.
yes. But threw it neutral, got it started enough to slow it down, then we'd kick out. And it had something to do with the altitude. So, everything was fine. Then, was that the year that the bathroom leaked the whole way?
I didn't know about that.
Oh, yeah. So then we traded that in and got the diesel pusher. And that worked great in the mountains. But when I winterized it before this one trip, I must not have done a great job because there was a leak in the toilet. And,
Like the next year?
well, that was like we winter, everything's
Right.
frozen up.
Uh-huh.
Then you take it in March.
Uh-huh.
We take it out to Breckenridge.
Uh-huh.
And then I remember getting to the campsite because we drive it through pretty much. And all of a sudden you walk in the back bedroom and it was like a pond.
Oh, it leaked into the interior.
Yes. So then I had to pay like
remember that.
$40 to have a little $2 item sent to me. So it was a valve that busted. But, it was a nice campground. I mean, at least there was like a bathroom there and there was a pool, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And we rented a car.
And you're talking about in Breckenridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we used to do that with Mike, remember?
Uh-huh.
And then, we could see Breckenridge and it was really fun, really fun. And then we would just take the car to the different
Yeah, I remember
skiers.
that.
Of course, Mike, he wanted to like drive the RV to the
I remember
skiers.
that.
And
Yeah.
remember what happened that one year?
No, but I remember he would take it to the ski resort itself.
So he said, well, this would be great. It's like ski in, ski out.
Yeah.
So A-Basin.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does kind
A-Basin,
of make sense.
I watch him and he pulls, he backs into this snowdrift, which ended up being ice.
Uh-huh.
Then you push the button to level it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And as it levels,
auto leveling.
his rear
That was
bumper
cool.
falls off
Why does it fall off?
because it busted. Because the ice kept it up and the RV was coming down.
Oh.
So
I remember those things would auto level. I remember the first rendition didn't, and we'd have those little like blocks.
we put the blocks.
You put
up.
the blocks up.
Yes.
I remember that.
Then we took it. Remember, we took it to Michigan.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool. And that
Where did we
was-
go in Michigan? Sleeping Bear
went-
Dunes?
Well, we went there. We ended up
Traverse
at
City?
Traverse City at one of those state campgrounds. Now, do you remember the
KOA?
problem? Remember the problem with the state campgrounds there?
No.
No.
Everybody had a fire.
Yeah.
It was so smoky in there. You couldn't even breathe in the evening.
Did we have fires?
Of course.
Okay.
Okay. So what's the
So we're part of the problem.
So and then we took Michael,
Yeah.
and that was the year that, remember, I ran into somebody on the way home
Yeah, I remember that.
in a car. Somehow I hooked bumpers.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
I whipped this guy perpendicular, and I'm shoving him down the
No,
road.
he was a moron. He cut in front of you.
I don't know what
He
happened.
cut in front of a massive RV.
And I'm pushing
I
him.
remember this.
I'm
Yeah.
pushing him perpendicular at 60 miles an hour, and I didn't see him. I mean, I'm up high, and I don't
You're
see
just
him.
pushing a car down the freeway?
Yes, and Michael is sitting next to me, and all we hear is rubber. And I was shoving him sideways, and then I thought, did my brakes go out? Then all of a sudden, I see him spin out into the middle lane.
Yeah, he went in
and
the
he
median.
does like a 360, and then we pull over. It was like a holiday, and I remember a little while later, thank God Michigan's a no fault.
It's a no-fault state, I know.
State. And the cop came over and he said, "Are you guys okay?" And I said, "Yeah, how's the other guy?" He says, well, "He doesn't remember what happened." So all I can think of, he's opening his window and there's
a RV.
right?
How messed up was his car?
Oh, God. The whole side was flat.
No,
he
he-
was fine, though.
Yeah, no, he cut in front of it.
Yeah,
It was his fault.
yeah. But,
I don't remember much damage to the RV.
oh,
No.
remember that plastic?
yeah.
Clear plastic?
Yeah. But that's why I have it there.
It got punched in.
Oh, it did?
So I had to have it replaced. It was like $1,000, which is cheap, as you know, with any
Yeah.
auto repair
Yeah.
on that thing. So, yeah, that was, then we took it. Do you remember we took it to Canada? You guys went to-
No.
yeah.
It was Vermont.
No, I took you to Fort George, Canada.
No, we didn't cross over.
I thought you did.
I remember going to Vermont.
In like
So
Lake
we went
Champlain.
to a British fort.
We went to Fort Cumberland?
No, Fort George. Fort
What was the name of
George.
that fort?
And we
in-
dressed
in
you guys
Vermont?
up in.
It's a really famous fort.
We dressed you up in British uniforms. They had for kids.
Fort George is in the Pacific Northwest. Just saying.
It wasn't Fort
Wait,
George.
Hold on. No.
Ticonderoga.
No. Fort George military on Niagara
There it
on
is.
Lake Ontario, Canada.
There it is.
He's got another.
I got another one.
He's right there
See,
again.
And then we had our bikes, and I don't know if you remember, we would go biking all over.
I remember Fort Ticonderoga.
Fort Ticonderoga was on the American side.
I don't think we crossed over.
I don't
pretty sure we
remember. That was Vermont. So you're saying we went to Vermont and then crossed over to the other side?
No. We went through Niagara Falls. Do you remember Niagara Falls?
Kind of.
And then we walked around right at the. And then do you remember taking the Maid of the Mist?
Yes, but that was an American. That was on the American side.
Yeah. But
Is
then
that the boat?
Yeah.
Yes, we go real close to.
You go to the falls in?
Yes, we go to the
yeah,
falls.
vaguely remember
Yeah,
that.
we did that. So yeah, that was. We took a lot of nice trips. The Florida trips with the RV.
The RV.
Remember, we went and we would pull it in to next to Sharky's there in Venice.
Yeah.
And then you guys, we'd all collect shark teeth. And
Yeah.
then remember, we would go fishing on that pier.
Yes. We took the RV there?
We parked it right next to Sharky's. And
Wow.
then we were at the campground that was during the day. In the evening, we take it back to the campground. And
I vaguely remember that. What was the last trip we took in that RV?
she probably, as a family,
Yeah.
it was probably a ski trip, you know.
I remember you brought it down for my graduation from college.
Yes, we did that.
But we probably used
We took it to
after that.
Seven Springs.
We did take it to Seven
Remember
Springs.
that friend of yours, Andy? And he got on the walkie-talkie, and he was like giving all
Was that
this.
Anthony House?
Anthony.
Oh.
Yes. And he was like giving everybody grief, and we were like laying in this RV. It got to 20 below. We had that RV there.
And the RV was good.
Well, it was okay.
I remember we had space heaters.
Yeah, I had every kind of heater possible
Yeah.
in there. And but yeah, that was fun. Seven Springs. They had a real nice campground right close to the ski area.
I remember that. Yeah.
So, but yeah, those were fun years.
I also remember camping in some big tent you had
See, I think we went
that
to.
we would
Yes.
set up in the backyard.
Yes, yes.
And I don't think we went to Fort George. I think we went to Fort Ticonderoga.
We definitely went to Fort Ticonderoga.
Do you remember getting dressed up
yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't
but
remember
that
in
but-
British outfits?
yeah, but that could be. Hold on, Fort Ticonderoga looks more familiar, and it's in New York.
It's in New York. I thought it was in Vermont. Interesting.
No, it's built by the French at the south end of Lake Champlain
Yeah.
in northern New York.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Maybe that was on the way to Vermont.
that's definitely what we went to.
I thought that's funny. I thought it was in Vermont.
Fort.
Do you still have that big tent? You had that for a while.
What happened to that tent?
It was
Yeah, we
was
had
it
said-
canvas?
Yeah, but the funniest story about that tent was when we'd set it up at the backyard. And do you remember, you guys loved Tyler.
Uh-huh.
And Tyler would come over, and I'd look out the back, because you guys were down there, and I'd see his legs stretched outside because he was like too big for the tent.
Oh yeah, he's tall. That's funny. I remember that tent. We took it somewhere and it was leaking.
Oh, I got it at Eddie Bauer.
Yeah.
It was an Eddie
Yeah.
Bauer tent.
It was like an 8-person tent. It was massive.
Was that the canvas?
Was it canvas? Do you know what we're talking
No,
about?
yeah, I know what you're talking
I
about.
don't think it was canvas.
No, it was nylon.
Yeah, nylon.
It was
yeah.
huge though.
Yeah.
It was a massive
Yeah.
tent.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's when you go family camping.
But we never took it family
yes,
camping.
Yes, we did. Do you remember with Don? We went to Kelly's Island.
Yes.
Not Kelly's Island.
We did go to Kelly's Island.
Yes,
though.
Kelly's Island. And there was a camp there that the bands would practice on. They
It was
had
like a
whole football-
YMCA camp. Yeah.
And we would set up there on the beach.
Yeah, I remember that. That wasn't a family thing though. That was you
No.
and me, I think.
Yeah,
I went.
yeah, it was the three of you.
I don't remember.
And then Don, I think, and his Ben went.
There was a gun range there. I remember that.
Yeah, and then we'd go over to the quarry, which is
Uh-huh.
pretty cool, and then see the glacial
The grooves.
Glacial grooves. Yeah, and that was. Do you remember flying up there? Did you fly with me?
I remember
many
flying.
a few times.
Yeah,
I remember
we flew
flying up to
there.
Put-in Bay. I don't know
Yeah,
about
we
Kelly's Island.
We went to Put-in Bay. We flew up there, and then
I remember going to Kelly's a few times.
we went to Kelly's, and then
They have an airstrip on Kelly's?
yes,
It's
and
right on the water.
right on the water.
Yeah.
And
That's a
I
typical
always remember
landing.
landing there. It was like I was pretended I was like an aircraft carrier. I
Yeah,
was
like in the
landing an aircraft-
Pacific.
Yeah,
That's how Put-in Bay's is, kind
yeah.
of.
And then you would take off right over a quarry, and like, thank God the engine keeps going.
Yeah.
You know. Then do you remember the trip we took up there and we got lost?
I mean, I do remember
Sorta.
this trip.
Sort of. You and I. You were taking lessons.
I flew a little bit on this trip.
You flew most of it.
Yeah.
You
You took off and landed,
yes, because you're not allowed to.
technically.
But
I
we-
might have done the
But,
takeoff.
and that was the first time we took GPS. Remember, I had that GPS, and we thought, oh, let's use the GPS to get back. And then we had no idea where we were. Sorta.
This is what happened.
Just head
All right,
south.
this was
Just head south.
this is 2006. So before smartphones, before the proliferation of GPS, we were flying a Cessna 172, and we flew it up to Put-in Bay.
Yeah, we did a circle.
We circled. Did we land?
I don't think we landed.
We didn't refuel.
We just no. Well, that one time, remember we did. Anyway, go ahead.
That was going to Stone Lab.
Yes.
So we flew up to Put-in Bay. I don't think we landed because we didn't refuel.
Yeah.
And then we flew back. And for some, we didn't get lost going up there.
No, but It was like, I think
Getting
we're
lost
here.
in a plane is a very interesting
Yeah,
thing.
but the cool thing is, and it's still that way. If you get lost,
You
what
look
do
the
do?
water towers.
You go down. You look for water.
So
towers.
if you didn't know, that's why water towers are painted with city names.
Yes.
It's for pilots.
Yeah, and then we would like, oh, yeah,
Do you remember?
there's
I was
Bucyrus.
to say it's Bucyrus.
Bucyrus.
And then we found 71.
Then we found
You follow a
71.
freeway too.
No, you don't find 71. You find
23.
23.
23.
Yeah.
But you do.
23.
But following freeways is also a strategy for pilots.
Now, do you remember the paintball years and airsoft years?
I do.
Okay. Do you remember who was the one that pelted somebody's house?
Can we not talk about that?
Okay.
I get it. I shot paintballs at somebody's house. It was not
It was
good.
it was Al Capone style.
Yeah.
It was. It was a drive-by.
It was a drive-by,
paintballing.
and
All right.
had the minivan.
All right. Let's just keep moving.
I just remember you saying the doors open.
Yes.
And then there's a bunch of paintball guns.
I think they all had hats on too.
Whose house was it?
We're not going to name names. Seriously, keep moving.
That's funny.
Those were great years. The airsoft years. Remember
Those
how
were
much fun?
fun.
How much fun those were?
Those were fun.
Doing the big battle in Kentucky.
Yeah, many
I
times.
thought that was in Tennessee.
Nah, Kentucky.
Fort Knox.
Yeah.
That's right. Fort Knox is, yeah. Right,
That
right,
was
right.
so neat. I've got pictures in the office.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
I tell there were 300 people. We had divided up 150 each.
The story you were talking about earlier when we flew to
I used to get picked up
Put
by plane from Bowling Green.
I got
That's
picked
right.
up from Miami by plane.
You get to go home for the weekend.
But we went
Plane's coming to get me.
We went to Stone Lab and we brought somebody else back. It was some people you just met that had a Cessna and were like
Yeah.
flying up there.
Yeah.
But we had so much weight.
We had to make 2 trips.
We made 2 trips back and forth from the Cleveland airport.
No, from Put in Bay to the Sandusky airport.
Sandusky airport. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, because
You can't have too much weight in
there
those
was a weight
things.
problem. You had, as you know, you had to be very careful with everything, and
I mean, not with navigation with us, apparently.
navigation.
Well, why did we get lost?
not lost? Because
I
I
mean,
usually follow
we
the
didn't know
roads.
where we were.
I usually follow roads, and it was like we were following GPS, and nothing looked familiar to me. But I knew the general area, and I also tuned in the radio station, 610 radio,
Yeah.
on the I think called ADF, and then so we homed in on downtown Columbus, and then once I found Delaware Dam, we made it back in.
I just remember finding the water tower at Bucyrus, and we're like, we know where we are.
We know where we are.
Nice.
Just land in a field and ask for directions.
Yeah, you could do that.
You could also get on the open pilot frequency and,
You could.
and ask people.
You could.
Now you don't. Now everyone has GPS, so this kind of stuff doesn't happen now.
I remember my cross country for my test. I got to this airport and it did not look familiar at all. I mean, I knew it was the way the configuration of the runways were, and I called for help. And
On the open air
yeah,
frequency.
and the air traffic control found me, and then all of a sudden I realized I was over the correct airport. It was just one was paved, one was blacktop, one was concrete. I didn't because I was. I didn't see the blacktop concrete because I was looking for a cross runway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
So,
I see.
but
Yeah, I remember. I remember my first landing.
you were good. You were so close to soloing.
I was.
Then
Then I had to go back to college.
you had to go back to college. And then Andy, I remember we went to Bowling Green.
I was scared shitless flying.
Were
that
ya?
far. Yeah. No, flying. You'd hand me the controls.
Yeah,
Flying is the easiest part.
I had my
Flying,
mom.
you just go like this. Landing is the difficult thing.
My mom, I took her up to Put in Bay, and I remember she couldn't touch the pedals, but I had her piloting,
You don't need those when you're flying.
Well, I would do the rudder pedals for
Say
her.
you don't need the rudders when you're flying.
I would do the rudder pedals.
flying. Such sloppy turns.
But yeah, so then we had the ski patrol days.
We did have the ski. We've done a lot of hobbies. We haven't even touched on the scuba days.
Yeah, scuba day.
Well, whatever.
Let me see if I can find that picture.
Find the picture. Here, I can send you the
My-
picture of the sharks.
My
I think it's on my
feeling
Facebook.
was whatever you guys wanted to do,
We had a lot
An
of
interest.
hobbies.
and it would notice they were all outdoors,
Yeah.
and that's I think led into a lot of this.
Yeah. So I thought I had a picture of us.
What we did, remember
Scuba diving.
You signed up for a trip in junior high to Andrews
yes.
Island. And
Yes.
and then one of the deals was that you could get scuba certified.
Uh-huh.
So I got certified with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember going to the quarries in Cincinnati and Circleville.
Uh-huh.
And then you went on this trip and you had a great time. And then Andy, we got certified with Andy.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. I didn't. You did it with him. I
did
didn't.
it. Yeah. Well, yeah. And then Andy did it real quick though. I remember ours was
I just emailed the Gmail.
Okay.
but yeah, that was, then we did the Bahamas. Remember for your senior year, we went to the Bahamas.
Uh-huh.
And that's when we did the shark dive. There it is.
Okay. Oh,
The shark dive.
there we go.
What a blast.
Where
that
were,
was.
Yeah,
why
that
aren't
was
you in
awesome.
this picture?
Because this was your senior year in high school.
No, not this.
No, not this. That's
No,
Andy. That's when
no.
this is when we went to Atlantis.
This is the second time we went. You didn't. It was so expensive. You just sent him.
I
and
just sent you two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's when you guys went. But do you remember those things touching you?
Yeah.
They hit you.
Yeah, the
They just
fins
bump
would
up
touch-
against you. Yeah.
And then when I went with you, you pointed, and there was like a big grouper sitting right
Huge
next to us.
grouper.
I think I have a
Watching.
Wait, I think I have a picture of something like that.
Huge
too.
grouper. Hold on. Okay.
I remember pulling up there with the boat, and you could see the sharks circling underneath you. And I was like, okay, who's
Yeah.
going to be the first one in the water?
I got.
Why did we? Didn't you? You're the one who found out we could do that.
Yeah, I would.
I didn't research that.
Yeah, I would research all this stuff before we went.
Here, I sent you another picture. And this
It's
one's
through
got
Atlantis.
a big grouper next to us.
To the same email.
Yeah.
Okay.
There it is.
And it was so funny.
Bottom left.
Hold on. Let me,
Waiting for food.
And do you remember what happened after what we would do after the sharks fed?
No.
No.
We would go look for shark teeth on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh, you're talking about
'cause
that.
they-
Okay, yeah. Here we go. Hold
Oh
on.
yeah, look at that.
Here's the. All right. So
It's not a massive grouper, but it's large.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, and then
God, look at this guy.
we went.
Yeah.
I mean, what a great place. And then we did. I must have done some. We did a reef dive. There was one where reef dropped down 100 feet.
All I remember is on one of those dives, you
Yeah,
went back to the boat and didn't tell us.
Well, we were in
And
we were
a
in
boat.
a sunken ship.
Cardinal mistake of scuba diving.
I was
we were in-
running out of air.
We were in a sunken. No, hold on a
I
second.
was running out of air.
It was like 60 feet down. The three of
No,
us were. Yeah, it was.
100 feet.
Okay. Well, go inside the ship, and we had flashlights,
Yes.
and you couldn't see anything, and it was pitch black.
And what's the first fish you saw?
A lionfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it scared the crap out of me.
I know.
too.
And you point. I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So where is it?
And then you just left.
Well,
And
yeah, I was running out of air and I couldn't find
Yeah, but
you
you
guys.
You're
should-
supposed to tell people that.
Yeah, because we were looking around the
we
ship.
think
for
you're
you.
like still in the ship.
Well, so the one guy, our dive master, saw me going up. He came up with me. But yeah, because I got in the water and immediately the water is like 100 feet deep, and I was like the first one in. And it was
Yeah,
taking
you're
forever for
burning
everybody
air.
to get in.
Yeah.
And you know the way I breathe there.
You inhale a lot
I mean,
of air.
I was like
Yes.
Bubble City
Yeah.
down at the bottom, but the water was so warm.
I remember that.
So warm.
That was a good hobby.
That was
do
we
some more.
still have all our stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then Andy and I went. You were spring break. We went to the Keys.
I remember this. You guys drove down there.
We drove.
You stopped by.
And by the way, the Keys were better diving than the Bahamas
Better diving.
by far.
Really?
Well, much more life.
And do you remember when the tide came in? We could see the tide coming in because
Oh, like in the distance?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
this
that's cool.
mass of cloudiness would come in, and it was the cool. I had no idea what it was, and the dive master got up said, "Yeah, that was the tide coming in," and then we just missed some whale something, that was like just a few hundred feet from us.
That was the first time I saw a shark too. We saw a shark there. It's like a little black tip.
We had gone shark diving before this.
You had, I had. I'd never
Oh,
seen a shark in
okay.
the water. But that's
Pretty freaky.
But that's the only place.
It's a little freaky when you see him in there.
That's the only.
Gets your heart beating.
That's the only place that I've ever seen massive schools of fish.
Yes,
amazing.
Yeah, Bahamas,
and
you
the
don't really
color.
get that.
Except at the Bahamas, we did that one reef that had lots of pretty fish in it. But the Keys did have more fish, and yeah, that was. I think that's about the only.
The main thing we did in the Bahamas is dive old James Bond sets.
Yeah. I remember also attempting to scuba dive in Lake Erie, which was a huge mistake.
That was right off of the
Kelly's.
airport.
It's about
there.
6 inches of
I
visibility.
brought everything there, and whose boat was Mr.
It
Miller's?
was Miller's boat. Yeah.
Miller's boat. Brought everything there, and you couldn't see.
No, it was like 2 inches of
But
visibility.
there are 2 wrecks that are not very deep there.
Yeah, off Kelly's.
And we went to where we thought they were. I had placards, of what was,
Did you have wreck
delayed.
diving in the Keys?
No.
No.
The
Not
wreck
that-
diving in the Bahamas was sweet.
No, we didn't. But we did just reefs, and it was amazing.
The reefs were good.
Oh, they were. But
Yeah.
but what they had in the Bahamas that we didn't get to in the Keys, but they still have it in the Keys. You can dive walls.
Yes.
We did that in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the
do you remember
walls.
that?
Yeah.
That
The tongue of the
the
ocean.
barracuda.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big barracuda.
I've seen. Yeah.
I've seen many.
When we were diving, and I was the last one in the group, and I'm looking because they said make sure you don't have anything silver on because then you become
They're shiny.
you become a big fishing
Yeah.
lure to this thing. The thing was huge.
Yeah. They're not dangerous to divers, are they?
I don't know. And I heard there's never been a shark attack on a diver.
That sounds
no,
like something
hold
that
on,
needs to be.
hold
Oh,
on.
you saying in Florida?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, because I know that there's been shark attacks on that dive in the Bahamas that we did.
Really?
Yeah, from people
Really?
getting their hands bit and stuff.
Oh
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
because you know what they told you.
From feeding. From
Yeah,
feeding.
you're
them.
supposed to have your hands like this.
yeah.
Because if you put your hand out, they think you're trying to feed them.
Yeah.
So the way this works, I should pull this back up on the screen. So the way this works, this is called tourist shark diving.
Yeah, these are
So-
trained. These are trained reef
So the
sharks.
way this works is you go out in the middle of the ocean in the Bahamas, and they have a little ring set up, and we're sitting.
Yes.
You all sit in a ring, and Andy and I are sitting in that ring right now. You can see there's someone to our right, and there's a person in the middle of the ring wearing chainmail.
Yeah. We kept looking at him saying,
And
how come we don't get to wear that?
And that's a good point. And he's got a chum bucket, and he's got a spear, and he will spear chum, and then he'll put the spear out, and then the sharks will just go ape shit on whatever is on the spear.
I mean, you can just YouTube Stewart Cove shark diving. It's incredibly popular.
But the sharks are trained in a way that if anyone puts an arm out,
Yes.
they're dumb. They think that there's food on the end of that arm,
and they'll go after
and
your
they'll go after it.
You know what the best part of this dive was? Because you do two, as part of this dive, you do 2 dives. The first dive is to get you comfortable with the sharks, and you
Yes.
actually swim around.
You swim
There's
around
no
them.
feeding.
Yeah.
But the coolest part about this whole dive is I've never been in water with sharks like this before, and
It's
the water.
a lot of sharks.
the
Probably
water-
40 sharks.
Yeah, the water's crystal clear, and you're
Yes.
putting on your gear, and you look into the water, and you're
Yes.
like,
They're waiting for you.
There's like 40 of them. swimming
yeah. And I
below you.
remember everybody was afraid to go in, and you and I just like immediately
Get in there.
off the back of the boat, right in. And
I remember.
I remember hitting the water, like, because I went back first. You know?
Yeah, you
and
go
I-
back
And I
first.
hit the water, and there's just tons of bubbles, and then the bubbles clear away, and then just sharks everywhere.
And I remember seeing one of those things go after a fish, like seeing one of those things
Oh, yeah.
go to full speed and how fast they are.
Fast.
Yeah. And they would, on the first dive too, you're just exploring the reef around there, and they'll follow you. They know they're getting fed. So
They're pretty docile though.
Do you remember
Yeah.
the nurse shark?
Yeah, I
They're
remember
nurse
tons
sharks
of nurse
down
sharks.
there.
They're like a big catfish.
We saw
Yeah.
nurse sharks in the Keys plenty of times.
And the guy feeding, he would grab the nurse shark and like hug it.
Yeah, they're pretty docile.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then I remember seeing that movie where those people are left by a dive boat in
Yeah.
Australia, and they used these reef sharks.
They're like they're
Yeah,
like the
and we
movie
had-
props.
those-
I
those
know,
are just-
I know.
those
They're
are
pretty
friendly
They're pretty
sharks.
docile. Yeah, that's not a shark you need to worry about. I know. That was a good hobby.
That
We
was
should
a
do
good
that
hobby,
more.
yeah.
that was fun.
Oh yeah, we did a lot of scuba diving.
We're just in such a bad area for water-based.
We're in a bad area for every outdoor hobby.
Well, I mean, those Circleville quarries are pretty neat.
I mean, if you want
Nothing
to,
like
if you want
the
to sit on
ocean.
top of a school bus and feed catfish,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll never forget that. They had one big catfish in there.
These huge catfish.
And you were scared of that
Yeah,
catfish.
it was scary.
Huge. It's
And
like
I'm
the size
thinking,
of this table.
you just helped feed sharks like a few months ago.
It's because
you're scared of the catfish.
It's murky. It's like murky, and that thing is ugly, and it'll just show up, and like the visibility's
Yeah,
not
he'll, like,
good.
Suck off one of your fingers or something.
Yeah, I actually think that catfish is dead. I think there was a thing.
It was like a
Yeah.
big old catfish
Yeah,
that's been there forever.
I remember seeing a news thing. It was like a famous diving catfish.
Do you remember the bowling alley down there?
Yeah.
We had a
Yes,
bowling alley.
I remember the bowling alley. I remember the plane. So what this is for people listening in Ohio, when you do your test dives to get certified, they have these quarries where they sink a bunch of cool stuff, and it's like cool stuff to dive around.
Cool. I just remember there was a school bus, and we would just sit on top of the school bus, and we'd bring cans of Cheese Whiz down.
Yes.
And then you'd
I
spray
remember
Cheese
you
Whiz
bring
in,
cereal.
and you'd feed all the bass and all the
Do you
bluegill.
remember getting inside the school bus?
Yeah.
We pretended
Yes.
we were like riding.
Yes, yes. And they had an ambulance.
They had an ambulance, and it was for training the firefighters, I think, for deep water.
For like rescue diving?
Rescue diving. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that catfish though. Big ass
I think I'd rather swim with sharks than catfish.
They're just scary looking, you know. Yeah.
No. Not when you can. You
That's
can't
all
see.
that's the only place other than Lake Erie we dove in Ohio. Did you guys go to North Carolina and dive?
Mm-mm.
No. We had something set up to go, and the weather got terrible.
'Cause there's pretty good diving.
And the other thing I want to do is dive with the manatee, but you're not supposed to because the bubbles scare them away.
Yeah, you're
I
supposed
guess.
to snorkel.
You're supposed to snorkel with them.
Oh,
But
I see.
then, yeah, that was one. But the ski patrol hobbies one kind of took over our lives quite a bit.
You guys did that more than I did.
Yeah.
5 years.
Do we have a ski patrol picture?
I did it for 10 years.
Do we have a ski patrol picture?
Let me try to.
But that
I don't know.
to
I've
tell you
gotta
the
be honest.
truth, that did you guys a lot of good.
Oh yeah, we learned so much.
You learned
Get
so
good at
much
skiing.
And first
the
aid.
skiing, and now
rescue.
Like I always a little more confident when you guys are away from civilization. You know what to do.
Yes.
You know, as far as
basic
what-
outdoor emergency
basic-
care.
yeah,
Yes.
basic outdoor emergency care.
Because you have to get that certification to be a ski patroller. It's like an EMTB certification.
The accidents that we
I never
care of.
saw any bad ones.
I saw some.
You
Oh,
guys saw
Andy-
some bad
Andy,
ones.
Well,
I
yeah,
saw bad ones
Oh,
every weekend.
we had helicopter runs. We had compound fractures. Oh, you name it. You know?
No, I had some like twisted ankles. That's about it.
No,
I didn't have anything
yeah,
that
just
bad.
broken leg, broken leg, broken
Fridays,
leg, broken leg.
We had the Friday night shift.
concussion. Is just
And sometimes,
triage.
remember we do the
Friday
night
night's
shift?
a bold shift. Everyone's hammered. Yeah.
We would come home at 5 a.m. sometimes because we did the night shift there.
I never did
And it was
that.
like the bar was right above us.
Yeah.
And at 2 a.m, the bar stopped.
So everyone goes skiing.
So clunk, 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 clunk. And it's just, okay, let's just hang out on the slope, because somebody
Yeah.
get drunk. And
It was one of those things I never understood that drinking and skiing go hand in hand. It makes no sense.
Yeah, that's just
Something where you
bad.
need
and then,
good, fine motor
and then
control.
the tubing hill.
Tubing Hill was a war zone as
my
well.
God. And it's just not people tubing, like the parents taking pictures and then they fall. And then,
Yeah, tubing. I remember when they
they would
got
go
a
into the-
tubing thing, and they're like, "Well, be prepared because
And they
these
would-
things is an onslaught of."
And there was no
accidents."
stop.
Yeah, you just go down
right into
yeah.
the parking lot.
Yeah, that's funny.
I don't have any pictures. I don't know.
But that was real valuable. I thought we
I got much better at skiing.
plus the
I remember.
technical aspects
I
of
remember.
skiing.
I remember one of the calls that came through was there was we were in the. It was like midnight madness, like 2 or 3 a.m. And there was a call that they needed some help because a bunch of drunk people were fighting in the parking lot. We're like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not doing that.
It's not on the slopes. It's not our jurisdiction.
I don't get into fights.
Yeah,
Like
That's
we're
funny.
not trained for this.
yeah. Conflict resolution.
Yeah.
no,
That's
that
funny.
was
No.
no, that was.
I'll take you down once you guys knock each other out. I'll take you down in a sled.
That's right.
Do you remember the one at Clear Fork? There was a lady, some gal with her husband, and they were fighting. They're both drunk, and she had high heels up on the top of the mountain.
I don't remember that.
And
What?
She
How
ended
does that
up,
happen?
she walked up there or something to fight with him, and she ended up throwing her heels at him, and we ended up having to sled both of them down.
No, I do not remember that. That's pretty funny.
I remember I had to take a sled down the tubing hill.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
down
that
one
was
of the
exciting.
chutes. Yeah,
Those
actually,
things are all ice.
no, I was on the snowmobile pulling the sled down.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't brake
Oh.
because it's solid ice. Because there was a bunch. There's
right.
a bunch of people get hurt at the bottom of that thing.
Of the tubing thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Sort of
I
like-
know.
It
It's
was
a
like
war zone.
It was a
Yeah.
war zone.
Yeah.
You know? And then the snowboarders, they would constantly be making, finding bigger hills. It was like eventually they're going to find one where they're going to get hurt. And we would
You
just
talking about jumps?
They build bigger,
Jumps.
bigger jumps.
bigger jumps, and finally they would get one, and then we would just hang out and
Just wait for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Oh,
bet,
both of your
that's the
wrists
one.
are shattered.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
Next.
That's funny. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, and then we'd have friends visit us. I don't remember Mark Brownell when he broke his shoulder,
Uh-huh.
and he wouldn't let us touch him at first.
I wasn't there.
I
when
was
this
the one
happened.
that took him down.
I was not
I took
there
him down
for
in the
this.
sled.
And then I took him to the hospital, and all they did is they rebandaged what we did and give him pain meds.
Yeah.
And there's no treatment for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said, "Well, why did we go there to get the pain meds?"
That's true. They don't stock those in the patrol hut.
Yeah. Where was your favorite place to go skiing?
A Basin or Loveland.
It's a great question.
You haven't been to Utah.
I was gonna say, Utah is the
No.
best quality of skiing for the price and the practicality of how close it is.
A Basin. Do you remember the wall where you guys used to jump off that thing?
Yeah. All the
Jackson Hole is pretty fun.
all the unpacked stuff. But A Basin and Loveland, because that both of those areas have backcountry skiing.
Yes.
You never went heli skiing, did you? Oh, we did it twice.
I did it once.
Who went with me the second time?
That kid that was the patroller that moved
Oh,
to
Kurt.
Pennsylvania. Kurt. Yes.
That's right.
In fact, that's why I was glad he went, because I didn't want to go again. And that was like,
That was the Snake River Mountains.
and then
in Wyoming.
you had the training session beforehand where you learned to find each other with the beacons.
Yeah, and
and then who had to carry the shovel?
Probes. Yeah, everyone carried a shovel.
I carried the shovel.
Everybody carried a shovel.
And then it's like this training. I'm thinking, why am I doing this?
There was a big waiver we had to sign.
Oh yeah, and so it was 6 runs, and I was done after the first one. I didn't want to do any more because you start off and you're so graceful, and you got powder up past your waist, and then you fall.
When you fall, it's very challenging to get up.
Yeah,
We
Yes.
should go. I've done this before, and it's so much fun. We should go tandem skydiving.
You have done that.
It is a lot of fun.
That sounds
You
a
would
little
like
more
it.
dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm game.
No, I mean you just do it once.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I've
I
seen
might be good on that.
a friend of mine.
It's so much. It
looks fun.
It is fun.
I saw 2
Let's go base
Ins-
jumping.
No.
incidences. I saw Mae West skydiving.
What?
A
Who?
Mae West.
What?
Do you know what a Mae West is?
A Mae West was the name for the life preservers that paratroopers wore
Well,
in World War II.
In skydiving,
Oh.
because a good friend of mine did it. A Mae West is when one rope gets tangled up with the other one.
Oh.
So you're
Yeah, you got to cut and go reserve.
Yeah, well, you throw out the reserve. So I saw that, and the guy. I remember I was up in the plane because a friend of mine was jumping. He came down, and they were just yelling at this guy, to throw his reserve. And the way they do it, they have you dive, I think upwind from the airport. So when you see the airport, that's when you throw the reserve chute. So it would be
That makes sense.
It would be away from you. And finally, I swear, 20 feet before the ground, the guy gets his reserve chute out.
Oh, gross.
And then I remember seeing him in the hangar, and he was just totally covered in sweat. I mean,
Yeah.
and there was no tandem,
Yeah.
there was no tandem. There was just your first dives, it's automatic. I don't know if the line is
Yeah.
attached.
No,
They
the one,
throw a little, like the
No,
little
no,
parachute
no,
that
no,
pulls
no.
out the big parachute.
no. When I went, there was a so yeah, there's like a control chute.
Is that what
they-
it's called?
Yeah,
I think that's
a
what-
drone chute.
Yeah, and that's meant so that
It
when
pulls
yeah,
it out.
when
It pulls it
you're
out.
ready to pull it. But the dude let me pull the ripcord, but if for some reason both of us were unconscious, it had an altitude sensor, and it would
That's
automatically
smart.
pull.
Mm-hmm.
Not selling
Wasn't
me on
one of your
this.
friends, Kevin? One of your friends' mother.
Her mom died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was a real
Yeah,
experienced.
It's a
skydiver.
dangerous hobby.
And you knew somebody who died cave diving too, didn't you?
I
Now, that
dove
was-
with people
yes,
who died cave
Your
diving.
instructor
No.
is a big guy.
When I went to Andros Island, Bahamas, and did diving there, yeah, he was
He was your
he was the
instructor.
dive master.
He was the dive master.
This just big
big man.
Bahamian dude. Like he was built like Michael Jordan.
Like jacked.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like 6'8".
Yeah.
And he and this girl from Worcester.
Yeah, because there's I have a connection
This
to that.
girl from
Yeah.
Worcester and him went cave diving on
in a blue hole, right?
I don't.
It was a blue hole.
It was New Year's Eve night cave diving.
Oh my God.
And they did not come back
Right.
up.
Yeah, and that girl's grandfather worked part time as a butcher. And
Oh, you knew
yeah,
her?
Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
I knew the grandfather.
Yeah, that guy was awesome.
Yeah,
He was that's when you go like diving in the Bahamas with the Bahamians is pretty fun. You're
'Cause
like,
didn't you
hey,
eat-
man, yeah.
Didn't you eat?
That was a
you-
Jamaican
you-
accent. I don't know why.
You
but
caught.
they taste like that.
you-
Conch.
Yeah, and you ate
Yeah.
it raw.
Yeah, but the only reason is they have a rule that only native Bahamians are allowed to harvest conch.
Mm-hmm.
The white folk can't.
makes sense.
So he went and got it, and I remember it's still moving when you eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great diving down there. Yeah, pretty dangerous though. Don't go cave
Don't go into
diving
caves.
at night.
Remember, we were going to do some kind of rating, advanced rating for diving, and that was one of the options.
We
Yeah,
were
you
gonna-
can pick a couple electives.
We were gonna do deep water.
Well, there's advanced open water or deep water diving, and one of the electives is cave diving.
Yeah.
One of them's wreck diving though.
Patty. It was the Patty.
Yeah,
I'll pass on the wreck diving.
wreck diving was
No,
fun.
that
I've
was in
done
the
it.
Bahamas.
I've done it, but
Wreck diving's fun. It's creepy.
it's very creepy, and that's
Yeah, it's not as creepy as cave diving.
no, God, no. I would never do that.
It's very popular.
I know.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
That's like how people die diving. It's
Yeah.
cave diving.
you just get
They get
disoriented,
lost.
and then you start sucking down way too much CO2, and you pass out.
Yeah.
I think that's what it
Uh,
is. I think it's like you panic, and then you start sucking down more air or something like that, and then something about like the gases change,
I don't know.
or you obviously exhaust your oxygen.
I just remember when you cave dive, they take like a second tank,
they take tons of tanks.
and then
Yeah.
they have like that rope thing like
Yeah.
that clicks behind them, so they
you
can
got a
always
way
follow.
out.
a
So I wonder
rope
what
out.
happened to this guy.
Well, I
Equipment
mean,
could have
but
failed.
you can ask that question to like all the famous cave divers who
Yeah.
died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't know.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
They went looking for him.
Mhm.
You know, there's like those underground networks of caves you can just get lost in. I don't know. I wouldn't be doing it at night. Although night diving in general would have been cool, I think. With the
I'm
glow
trying to think
sticks.
if I ever
with the glow sticks.
I've never
done it.
I've never gotten.
But you tie
diving.
glow sticks to your tanks so you can
cool.
see where everybody is.
That just reminds me of Jaws when they do the night dive to try to capture Jaws.
Jaws 1?
No, like 3.
Okay, I was saying. Yeah,
With
Jaws
Mr.
1.
Fitzgerald, where he gets taken out.
No, I
No,
don't
no.
remember
Or
that.
they do capture the baby with like a trank, and they do it at night, and they all. Have glow
I
sticks.
know what you're talking about.
I'm
This
like,
is one of the
pass
modern.
on.
This is one of the modern Jaws
Yeah.
movies.
With
Yeah,
the sea park.
Yeah.
with Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
And then we got the fishing stories. We have any fishing stories?
you guys did a lot more fishing, I feel like, than I did.
No, not really.
In the
It's
Keys,
just
we did
lots
that.
of
Fly fishing is another hobby we do that we haven't even
Yeah.
touched on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I
haven't done
with
enough.
George. Remember
Yeah.
George and Brian?
Uh huh.
And Andy's got a great fly rod now, by the way.
Yep. I do have a good fly rod. Need to use it more. I wish we
Uh-huh.
had more trout around, like trout streams.
I said we got some.
Not
trout.
your pond.
We got some pond trout. It tastes like grass when you eat it.
They're gone now.
Yeah.
Water temp. But
It tastes like dirt.
we'll be going to the trout stream shortly. I know,
Which trout stream?
in Bell Fountain.
Oh yes,
With
right.
John.
Yes.
And then the hunting. I mean, remember that the hunting area that
Yeah.
patient of mine has.
You know,
That's another outdoor hobby we haven't talked about.
yeah.
Weaponry, firearms, and hunting.
Yep.
Yeah, we checked that one.
Bagged a few deer.
Andy is the hunter.
No,
Elmer Fudd.
I'll never forget that first one you got.
yeah, I didn't think I got it.
It was like, it was raining. The first thing I noticed, you're sitting in a tree and a squirrel falls on you. Do you remember that?
No.
Squirrel fell on you. And then he fell out of the tree.
No, I just remember sitting behind a tree and then I hear something move on the other side of me and I turn around and there's a spike buck.
You nailed that thing.
Yeah.
He dropped.
Yep.
That was
We haven't discussed how we got into firearms randomly.
What's the story?
I just think it's funny that we were like a suburban family, and then all of a sudden, like 15 years into growing up, we just went country. I think that's pretty funny.
What didn't the airsoft hobby lead into the?
No,
into
I
the
think
guns?
it was the other way first.
Well, and then the hunting. We started out. Remember, Jeff would take us to those gun shows down in with the Ohio Gun Collectors Club. And then I got the first 12
That's when
gauge.
I remember blowing my mind that this was a thing, that you could just bring cold hard cash to
And you
these
could
gun
get
shows,
you could
and
get a
you
gun.
could just get outfitted.
But here's the thing too, like,
And I was like, this doesn't seem logical.
well, hold on a second, because I mean, okay,
That's an Ohio thing.
No. So while there is certainly you can certainly go to a gun show and pay cash from like a private like seller, like you and I could sell, like I could sell a gun to you or something like that. There's
At
no
a gun show?
I could sell it here,
Okay.
but at the gun show it's mainly dealers, and you have to do you have to do all the paperwork and
Now
everything.
you do.
No, you always did.
We
But-
didn't do any paper.
But
We didn't do any paperwork.
no, but
I walked in there with like $500 cash.
No,
and walked
no,
out with a Yugoslavian SKS.
no,
Whatever happened to that, by the way?
I sold it
It got traded in for something else.
for an AK-47.
no. If you buy from a private seller, no, as a private, like if I were like, hey, I've got a bunch of guns and I want to sell them, I could rent. I could
got night vision goggles too.
I could rent a space. I could rent a table. But if you're buying from a dealer at a gun show, you got to do all the paperwork.
Nobody does that.
Yeah, they do. I've bought from a dealer.
I just remember walking
We
in
just
there.
walked in.
no, it's
and
probably a private
We had a
seller.
bunch of cash, and it was
Maybe
like,
it was.
what do you
I don't
want?
know.
It wasn't like a store. Most gun shows that I've seen the last few years, it's mostly dealers that set up, and you have to fill out all the paperwork stuff
There
and
was
wait.
no paperwork.
Yeah, because it was probably a private seller that had a table.
I just remember thinking this
is
cannot.
too easy.
I was like, this cannot be how it is. Like, no, they didn't even check our IDs. It was just straight up cash for guns. I feel like they've probably tried to tighten that. That's known as the gun show loophole in legislation. I know that.
Now, Andy, you would go to that. Remember, we'd go to Jackson, Ohio. The patient of mine's got that property. But then you never, did you ever go deer?
I've
you
gone
went
deer
with me,
hunting. I've
but we
never
didn't.
bagged one.
But do you remember the pheasant hunts?
Pheasant hunting is fantastic.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, because it's not hunting.
No, it's live trap shooting.
It is live trap shooting. Yes.
That's at a club.
You pre-buy your birds.
I do remember. I do think pheasant tastes delicious, though.
It does.
It's a very good taste. And if you have cats, you take
Not
the
the way-
feathers.
Not the way I cook it.
No.
It's like a
I
little
made
turkey.
I made chicken nuggets
Full of-
out of it.
full
Well,
of-
pheasant nuggets.
Full of buckshot.
You do get a couple rounds of buckshot that you spit out. Yeah, you can't use lead buckshot. Yeah.
It's either lead or steel. The steel will
No,
break
it's
your
copper.
teeth. Or copper. The
Yeah.
copper
Yeah, but you
will
don't
break
want to
your
eat the
teeth.
lead.
The lead, at least you can crunch that and it won't break your teeth.
But then you have lead poisoning.
But then you got lead poisoning. So you just very carefully dissect
you get the
it.
copper ones, and then you like shake it out, and you hear the little BBs
Yes,
fall out of
yes,
it.
Yes.
What else have we hunted? Is that it? Pheasant and deer?
Yeah, that's. We tried turkey. Remember?
I never went with you.
Andy went with me. Yeah,
No.
with Bob.
Nope.
Bob and we
I've
Yeah,
hunted.
you've gone turkey hunting.
I've hunted rabbits before.
Really?
really. When
You
was
were
that?
just bored?
Me and Frank hunting rabbits.
Oh, really?
Oh.
What did you use?
Shotguns.
Did you get?
Did you
any?
get one?
Yeah.
And you ate it?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard rabbit's pretty good.
Yeah.
What about squirrel?
I've never had squirrel.
Wait, you used a shotgun on a rabbit?
Yeah.
You used birdshot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. You go through.
When
we-
is that? I got a bunch of
a
rabbits.
few years ago.
What's that season?
Were you guys just bored?
No, we went with a bunch of dudes on property that was fit for this. It was a real legit hunt, and you walk through fields and you flush them.
For rabbits?
Yeah.
This is some Elmer Fudd shit.
And people, it's very popular.
Yeah, I've never hunted rabbits.
My dad did, and he doesn't remember it, but I remember those things dripping in the bathtub.
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, we did it. I got one. I ate it. It was fine. I just
Mark K says, try hunting people.
the ultimate hunt.
No, we haven't hunted people.
No.
Well, yeah, but it was interesting. I remember when I was in high school, we just all of a sudden got into firearms and hunting. Like there wasn't like an impetus for that.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
Well, you know.
It's something about carrying a loaded weapon across a field, you know?
It is one of the oldest sports.
Yes. And then the dog.
Yeah, pheasant hunting with a dog is sweet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What an appreciation how they train these dogs.
Yeah, a well-trained hunting dog is something that's
That thing would
to
do
admire.
everything.
Yeah,
Remember, I
it's-
used to joke about that.
Did
it does everything.
Did you go duck hunting too?
I tried.
Oh.
That's when you sit in a marsh. It's no fun.
Pheasant hunting is the way to go on a
Yeah.
private club.
But
We're
the
gonna pre-buy the
dog-
pheasants.
The dog would find the bird, chase the bird,
Well,
out,
at first it
Point
finds the bird and
points
points
it.
at the bird.
points at the bird,
And then when you're
you
ready,
flush it out.
and then the
dog
bird, the dog flushes,
flushes
it out. Then you shoot the bird,
And then the dog gets
would
the bird.
and he brings it right to your feet.
Yeah.
And I said the only thing be better.
And the
is-
dog will kill the bird
yes,
on its way back if it's still alive.
yes,
Yeah.
And I thought the only thing better, we'd be sitting at a picnic table drinking beer. The dog would come up to us,
Yeah.
and say, "I found the bird. Do you want to kill it or you want me to?"
Yeah. It's pretty funny. That was fun. Yeah.
But
How long into the firearms years before you guys started? You guys were hunting deer before I did.
No, he was the first one. And
You
you actually attempted to
that's
go.
I went down to Jackson.
Yeah,
That's
I
where
went. I've never even
But-
seen a deer hunting.
But you tried before I did.
I tried bow hunting too.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I got 2 crossbows. The season's longer.
Yeah, but it's just like, just use a gun.
Yeah, but if you want to hunt like end of September,
Yeah, you need to
you
use a
can
bow.
use a crossbow.
Yeah,
You know, Kurt has made like the hunting grounds.
I know.
next to
I
me.
know. We've got
got
access. I know. We've got access.
Grass
I
and
know.
everything. So
Well, that's fun. Any other outdoor hobbies we haven't touched on?
talk about my dad.
Yeah, that's a pretty good story.
But that's a long story.
No.
That is a long story.
It's a very long story.
That we can do tales.
My poor dad he's 99. He's been quarantined because
He's in a nursing home.
he's in a assisted living. He broke his femur in October. These boys have been wonderful, by the way, and visiting him. And so I got to see him for the second time in 4 months. And he's, I keep telling him, he's strong. And my dad was a POW for 12, 13 months. I told him it's just like being in a POW camp now.
Just like the nursing homes.
Yeah,
Just
same
like being a
thing.
POW.
It's just like- but yeah, he's,
I bet he hunted other things other than rabbits.
well,
Well, he kind of hunted. He kind of hunted people.
All right.
If you're in a war, you're kind of
no, he always told me he never shot anybody. He always shot it because he thought his cousin's husbands were on the other side.
But he was a veterinarian, so I would think he would know hunting animals from being a veterinarian or something. That I don't know. I mean, he certainly probably butchered animals.
Oh yeah, he worked at a.
What about
processing-
Hideaway Hills? Weren't you guys capping squirrels there?
Oh God.
Really?
Oh yeah, with 22s.
That's what you
That-
shoot squirrels with.
We were doing quail.
You're hunting quail with a 22?
Yes.
That does not seem safe.
No. And then I remember I went with this friend of mine, and there was a dove on a dead branch.
He hunted Fatih?
Yeah, you'd go with us. And then we shot with the shotgun, and the whole branch came down, and the dead bird. And that thing, it was a pigeon or it tasted terrible. Yeah, because we cooked,
If it was a pigeon,
and we
it
cooked it
probably
the old
did.
way. You threw it gutted it, threw it in boiling water, and picked off all
You
the
boiled
feathers.
it. Yeah.
Nothing like a good old
A boiled pigeon.
And then the quail was excellent. The quail was like
Well, that's a bird people hunt to eat.
like
like
chicken.
Yeah.
yeah. I remember the pheasant tasted like turkey. It was
It
delicious.
tastes like old turkey to me, but you're probably better. You guys are better.
I
cooks than
fried
me.
it,
Yeah,
and it was good.
Remember that first one? I put it in the oven and cooked it, and it was okay.
I would fry mine. Ooh, it was delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was quail or pheasant hunting is just so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
And also remember the guy told us how you could tell like pheasant that were raised to be hunted and natural pheasant. Something about the beak. There was a hole.
Yeah.
You look all the way through.
Yeah. There's a hole in the beak. Yes. Yeah. That I don't remember which pheasant has the hole.
And do you know why we don't have any natural pheasant?
No, I
'Cause
just
we
know
killed them all?
I know we don't have natural pheasant.
Do you know
in Ohio.
why?
Coyotes?
No, the blizzard,
What blizzard?
78.
This sounds like another
Okay,
BS.
hold on.
The
Andy's
blizzard
gonna-
of 78.
So wait, the blizzard of 78 killed all the indigenous pheasants in
Yes,
Ohio?
they were
Hold on.
naturally
Okay.
introduced in the 50s. They were introduced, and then the blizzard killed all the natural ones. That's
Ohio.
why you can't find them in nature.
I don't know if that's. I don't even know how to fact check. There's an Ohio pheasant hunting forecast. Yeah. Oh, they released them.
Yeah, they release them
They
now.
released some.
Like Delaware
Okay.
State Park, you can go there.
That's right.
And get them there.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
But there's no natural pheasant anymore. The only natural ones they have are the ones that have escaped. Like, from
Yeah,
where we go hunting.
yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a
the
trailer,
ones you don't get. I know.
There's a trailer park there, and those people are happy.
I didn't realize they released them.
Yeah.
The ODNR releases them.
And what was the other thing? Deer were not natural.
What?
No. Oh,
What do you mean?
no.
They were released back in the 50s, I think.
Well, maybe.
Ohio?
Yes.
Well, okay, hold on a second. There could be some validity to say that they were overhunted and then
Yes.
slowly had to start
happened to
being.
They had to
black bear.
restart them. Yeah,
But
restart 'em.
you cannot say that they weren't native to Ohio.
They were at one time.
Elk were native to Ohio.
That's
I
true.
know.
So are black bears.
Yeah.
Can't you wait till they introduce the elk?
Oh god.
Talk
I
about
can't
Soon.
wait.
You
They've
can't-
done it in every state around us.
Where are they gonna- where are they
Not-
gonna
not
put 'em?
Indiana.
Can you imagine the car?
Yeah, put them in
the car accidents.
It's not like there's going to be that many at first.
Put them in
But
Wayne.
They'll put them in Wayne.
Yeah.
they're in Kentucky.
Yeah, they'll put them up in southern Ohio.
And how did the bear get over here in Ohio?
They
They
walk-
travel. What do you mean they
West
walk?
Virginia.
Do
West
they go
Virginia.
across the bridge or what?
They can swim.
They can swim across the Ohio River.
I mean, bears come here from other states. I don't think they're taking the bridge. Maybe.
Hitchhiking.
All right, let's.
They can
see
swim.
How do bears?
Bears
get-
are swimmers, right?
And can you, like you guys are on bear country, can you escape a bear by climbing a tree?
No.
Not a black bear.
Have you seen bears climb trees?
Yes.
They're,
how do you
they're
how do you-
insanely good.
How do you get away from a bear?
You don't.
You just stand there.
Well, I mean, if the bear wants to eat you, it's going to eat you. So there's no getting away from it. It might leave you alone.
You just make sure you don't have food on you.
Yeah, and you don't, you stay away from mom and cubs.
Yeah.
You're not going to outrun it. You're not going to
No.
outclimb it.
They're so fast. When I was a kid, went to Yellowstone. I was 14 years old. There were bear everywhere. I remember we had a little Volkswagen,
Grizzlies.
and
It
people
could have been black bear.
It could have been.
people were opening their
Yeah,
windows.
they're feeding them.
They were feeding them.
Yeah, and this is why bears kill people now.
Yeah. And now, do you remember when we went? That was an RV trip. That was that one, and we saw maybe one bear the whole time.
I don't remember seeing any bears.
I remember seeing maybe one or two running in the distance.
I remember seeing buffalo and elk.
Do you remember our
I do.
snowmobile trip?
That was pretty cool.
That was very cool.
That was very cool. We snowmobiled through Yellowstone in the winter.
80 miles. That was the guys' trip, remember?
Yeah, we went
did-
hella skiing
we
and
went
then we went
hella skiing,
snowmobiling. It was
Jackson
like a
Hole.
4-day trip, just in and out.
Jackson Hole, and then we went snowmobiling in Yellowstone.
I remember seeing bison in the winter. That's all.
Yeah. And I remember having to stop for the bison because they
Yeah.
crossed in front of us.
Yeah, yeah. And then I remember it's very different in the winter. The bison are all like huddled together in a big pack versus that's not how they are in the warmer months because they do that for heat, so they stay warm, and they do it around thermal springs. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, you know that there's
Okay, here we go.
well, I don't know. I can't find something that says they walk across a bridge. So
They swim.
but the property in Jackson has bear now.
Yes.
Yes, because I sent
discussed
you
that.
I sent you pictures.
Yep.
Or because Jeff,
We got bear in Ohio.
yeah,
Bring
there
it.
are signs of them,
Mm-hmm.
and there are pigs down there too, aren't there?
Yeah, we got a lot of wild pigs.
And those are really nasty.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
There's an article right now that says ODNR estimates 50 to 100 bears in Ohio right now.
Oh, coming back.
One was killed in Lancaster. I told you that.
Somebody hit him with their car.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Yeah. They'll be back
And then-
eventually.
And then a black bear.
It's too many deer for them to eat.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Hold on a second.
Bears
John
are
said-
excellent swimmers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I thought they're the perfect killing machine.
Oh, Jason's here.
Yeah. Restless Outdoors is here.
Hey, Restless.
Yeah.
When we going fishing?
Yeah. Yeah, when are we going fishing?
Yeah, Restless.
I saw you were at Maumee.
Yeah, he's a good fisherman.
I know.
They go after, they catch steelhead.
In the Maumee River?
I don't know
It's
which
all
river.
around. It's around Erie.
Yeah.
And the Chagrin River.
Yeah. Yeah, they catch steelhead.
I've tried, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
I did hook one in Lake Erie once. But, yeah, I'd love to
Do you
try
fly
that.
fish for him?
Yes.
For steelhead?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that the primary
No, spin
technique?
cast-
Spin
Spin
casting.
casting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But, yeah, those fish, they've been caught so many times. By the time you catch one, I guess they're all they're all shredded and everything.
Oh, gross.
Fins
I
and
see what you
everything.
mean. Yeah. All right. Well, wrap this up.
Yeah. Wow. Almost an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Oh boy,
Yes.
did we? People fall asleep watching this?
No. There's people watching, people commenting.
How many people watch?
I don't know.
I think the most we hit was like 31.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's for fun.
right, well, thanks.
Many more people will watch the recorded version. All right. Well, this has been fun. I
Yes.
guess at some point we're going to have to get our sister on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very excited.
Well, she's going to have to physically come here to
Yeah,
get
she's
on
gonna
it.
be here.
Yeah.
In what, August?
Maybe we'll have both of you on.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That would be
'cause
fun.
She's fun to spar with.
Yes. So the
The other thing, with you three, you know how much fun I had with you guys growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a blast.
Yeah.
We had
Everything.
a million hobbies.
We had a lot of hobbies.
Anything
We should
you
run
guys-
through the hobbies.
Go ahead.
There's a lot.
Oh, well, I was going to say like Indian guides.
Yeah.
Doesn't really count.
Yeah, it does.
So Indian guides, skiing, ski patrolling, scuba diving,
shooting, fishing,
shooting,
fly
fishing, hunting, fly fishing,
airsoft.
airsoft,
You did some flying.
paintballing, flying. Wow.
Biking.
We haven't talked about biking.
Remember, by the way, they've rescheduled the
long
Portsmouth
distance
ride.
cycling.
I hated that.
I know, but you know why you hated that?
God, it's a lot of hobbies.
Why?
Because that one fella took you on that tandem and just wore you down.
Tandem.
No.
Yeah, you took a tandem down
No,
with,
No.
no.
with the
no.
Hoffman kid.
No, it wasn't a tandem, and that was a fun ride. We did 105 that day. It wasn't on a tandem.
I thought he had you on a tandem.
No.
And then Kevin,
No, I
did it.
just don't like.
I did it.
just
I did it
don't-
once.
you did it. You did down. Remember spending when you were little, we used to do short versions. Of it.
Yeah.
And we'd stay with Warren in his room.
What we're talking about, people, is there's a 210-mile bike ride every year in Ohio called Tosserve.
tour of the Scioto River Valley.
And he did it.
I still do it.
He does it.
Portions
That's
of
his
it. I don't do
thing.
the whole thing.
Andy and I have both done the whole. So you bike 105 miles from Columbus to Portsmouth, Ohio. You spend the night. You bike 105 miles back.
It always rains,
It's not fun.
and it's always headwinds.
It's kind of
both
fun.
ways.
Doing
it's
100, doing 105 ain't
Now,
fun.
in the heyday, there were
God.
6,000 riders.
I remember it being fun when I did it.
It was a lot of fun. We would take the trailer down there, remember?
Yeah,
Or we'd stay in the hotel.
yeah.
And then,
I just didn't enjoy it.
well, you did
fun
it
to
once.
do once.
You did it once.
Mm-hmm.
You did it once. And it was like anything.
Well, I did sections for years, but then I did like 1 year where we hit
And
it.
then we would do it with the Millers. Remember with Jeff?
Yep.
And we'd always stop at the Greasy Spoon, have the best greasy
It's
hamburger
not
in
called the
Lucasville.
Greasy Spoon.
I know, but
you guys
down-
all call it that.
In Lucasville by
Yeah.
the prison there. Best hamburger at a fat
Yeah.
dipped
Yep.
bun. Oh God, it was so good.
Yeah, we didn't even get into the bicycling hobby. There's too many hobbies
And then
for
Lisa-
one podcast.
Yeah. Lisa would do that with us. And I made all you guys just experience it.
I did it once.
You
Did
did.
the full thing once. I did
Yes.
halves of it
And
with
Warren
you. a
and I
bunch.
kind of watched you
Yeah.
come in. It was a miserable day that day.
Yes, the coming back was a good day.
You had a tailwind then.
Yeah, and I got in this
Oh, you're
pack
getting those packs.
of like 25
just
dudes
fly.
that were going so fast, and we had a tailwind, and you just sit in the back, and they just kind of pull you along. Yeah, I remember
It was
that.
so much fun.
Yeah,
But it's just something you could look back and say, I did it.
That's
Just
how,
like
that's how I think about marathons.
and that's your marathon. That's your camping. Your backpacking. You did 80 miles, 100 miles over a week.
Yeah.
There's not many people that can do that.
It's true. That's true.
And it's so healthy nowadays, especially all the, being outdoors and
It's true.
for your immune systems.
It
and
is good
everything.
for you.
Well,
Yep.
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
Yep.
Vitamin D. So.
All right. All right, people.
All right.
We're going to
Hey,
cut
thanks.
this. Happy Father's Day, everybody. All right. Thanks, Dad. This was fun.
Yeah.
Let's probably do some more of these.
Yeah.
And
Lisa. That'd be
yeah.
fun.
And we'll see everybody on the next Backcountry BSing.